All right, so Hank Zong on the left, Slivers on the right. We will, of course, not be doing prediction polls on today's stream. That wouldn't make a lot of sense.
Hey, Judge, is there a clock anywhere that we can see? Or no, a clock for our... That one down, all the way down there?
Hank, as most of you already know, the finalist of the Eternal Weekend North America Legacy Tournament. And Jeremiah has not played on stream with us before, so making their debut. I kept a watchful eye on Jeremiah during this tournament. When I saw that Jeremiah was on Slivers after round one was underway, I was thinking, wow, that might actually be genius. I love it. All right, here's Sliver Hive, Aether Vial. Start us off. Hank thinking about responding. Force of Will, pitching Pondering.
I think it's really good.
Sure.
Yep.
I will fetch a bulk and attempt to play.
AC? Yep.
I will keep the sand.
Okay.
And I will...
All right, Dave Kaplan, the champion of this tournament, will be on the ELO Punters podcast. Awesome. If you're watching this later on YouTube, the link will be somewhere. All right, here's a crystalline sliver. And Hank fetching. Crystalline sliver gives all slivers shroud. And is one of the most powerful slivers in the deck, really. We are dealing with a little bit of glare. This was a convention center. I was moving around from table to table throughout the event, so we will see some glare on cards, but we will work through it, everybody. Here's a consider for Hank. Trying to see what the land is that is stuck in the glare. I believe it's a cavern. Edge of Autumn surveilled into the graveyard.
Guardian Hands?
4.
I'm gonna get
There's a flooded strand for Hank.
The Emeria land. Pay 3 to bring it in untapped.
No, you're good.
So you take no damages?
3.
I'm going to attempt to cast
Archon of Emeria.
2 cards.
At this point in the game, Jeremiah must know what they're up against. Hank obviously knows slivers are on the other side.
Go to 19, trigger on these guys.
Yep.
18.
Okay. Sure.
Brainstorm here for Hank is going to resolve. Yes, this is the SCG New Jersey Saturday Legacy 10K.
Pondering, sure. Pondering? Yeah.
Shartwin, thank you for the resub. 31 months for Shartwin. Hello, Shartwin. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Without Shartwin, there's no channel.
Take the initiative.
All right, a fetch here for Hank. After the brainstorm. Want to just take a quick moment to thank some new YouTube members, Zane Aga and David McCoon. Thanks for hitting the join button on YouTube. Appreciate that. Hit the join button on YouTube, everybody.
Yep.
Here's a ponder for Hank.
Okay. Draw.
Can't quite see Hank's hand. It looks like there's an Edge of Autumn in there. Maybe another Brainstorm. It doesn't look like there's a Doomsday. It looks like a Street Wraith was just drawn. I don't see a land or a Doomsday. I'm trying to make out what those last. It looks like there's a Ritual, maybe Cabal Ritual. There's another Cavern. Yeah, double Cavern and Sliver Hive. Here's Sinew Sliver. Attack it for 3.
14. And I will pass to you.
Good? Yeah.
I forgot that I had the life totals disabled. My bad. They're now up.
Thank you. Are you delirious?
I am.
Cabal Ritual hitting the stack.
Targeting.
Hold on. I'm gonna play Wasteland. Start.
Sure.
Duress, 4 black mana floating. The hand is Sinew Sliver, Hibernation Sliver, and another Crystalline.
I'll play Doomsday down 1.
Okay, so there is a Doomsday. Doomsday on the stack.
And you lose half, so 7. Yep.
7 life is precarious against Slivers. Jeremiah currently has 4 power on the board.
Yep.
Upkeep,
Yep.
initiative trigger,
Yep.
I'll forge,
Yep.
2 counters on this guy.
You are delirious.
Correct.
Draw.
Sorry. Yeah.
Wasteland the wall. Sure. Move to combat 3.
Looks like the Edge of Autumn was pulled out of the graveyard. You do get to see which cards were taken from the graveyard.
I'll go to combat.
Yep.
I'll attack you.
I go to 14.
Okay. Past you. Mind if I just take a look through this?
I'm gonna waste it.
Draw.
All right. Jeremiah politely asking to take a look. Hank sorting out the 5 cards to make sure they are in proper order. And looks like Hank opting for the Edge of Autumns over Street Wraith, which makes sense given the low life total against a deck with a lot of creatures. Harry Houdini making a great point. Slivers is interesting in this initiative meta, takes the initiative back fairly easily. I agree. I was saying as we were getting started, I feel like this was a great deck choice. If you're going to play some tribal Vile deck, Slivers seems pretty like it could be pretty powerful right now. Rockman is here. What's up, Rockman? Tyler Goblin Grandee says, Happy New Year, Chris. Hoping to see you rocking some goblins today. Maybe. I didn't play in this event, though, so I won't be playing on today's stream, but Happy New Year, Tyler.
Take the initiative.
So you have 12. Okay. So
All right, Hank took game 1.
I search for the basement. So, search. And it comes into my
Luanil, thank you for the resub. 31 months for Luanil. What's up, Jason? It was nice seeing you at the event. Eddie the Intern is here. 13 months at Tier 1 for Eddie the Intern. Thanks for the resub. Appreciate that. All right, Mutavault into turn 1 Vial for Jeremiah on turn 1 in game 2. Turn 1 Duress. Let's see what Jeremiah's holding. Force pitching Crystalline Sliver. I love that. Duress in response, force pitching Crystalline Sliver. It's like Urza's Saga standard all over again, right, everybody? Or extended or something, right? What year is it? All right, a second Mutavault comes in.
Torpor.
Ooh, Torpor Orb. Yeah, I guess Slivers don't have ETB abilities, do they?
3 counters.
Wow. All right. Kentucky Fried, thanks for the resub. 2 months for Kentucky Fried. Happy New Year. I think Vile just ticked up to 2. Yeah, Vile just ticked up to 2. There's Caracas, I believe. Activating Vile.
Play in there as call.
Sinew Sliver, which is basically Muscle Sliver but white, for those of you not familiar. Attacking for 3 with Mutavault. I dig it. Torpor Orb is pretty good here. Torpor Orb, of course, for anyone not familiar, stops Tathasa's Oracle ETB trigger, which is the whole point. Which is the whole point of resolving Doomsday. Okay, so Dark Ritual Doomsday. Hank going for it. Despite Torpor Orb.
Is it round up or down? Let me just take a look at my deck. Alright, I can't win. That's a ball.
Wow. Hank says I can't win. Good game. Wow. Okay, did not expect that. I was trying to think for a second there, what could Hank possibly do? All right. We're going to game 3. Yeah, I'm sure Hank's not going to make that mistake again and lose to Torpor Orb. Let's see. Well, not really a mistake, just more of a, you know what I mean. All right, 1 card on the bottom for Jeremiah. I'm all to 6. Looks like Hank kept 7. Hank on the play.
I will.
Seems like the Torpor Orb caught Hank off guard. Wasn't ready for it. The Force on Duress looking good. Yeah, I believe Hank's list does have Petty Theft. Cavern on Slivers. Here's Vile. Second Scalding Tarn. Aquinas making a good point. There are some slivers with ETB triggers. Harmonic Sliver is a big one. That's true. Vile ticks up to 1. There's a Mutavault. Chalice on 0. Torpor Orb.
I think I'm gonna finish.
Hank double fetching in response to Torpor Orb here, getting 2 Underground Seas.
You want to go first? Thanks, Super.
Hard casting Force on the Torpor Orb after a Dark Ritual. Yeah, I'm not sure why the Chalice on 0, Chalice on 1 seems a bit better. Let's see how this works out.
Oh, you. Yep. Yep.
There's Cabal Ritual for Hank. Hank has 5 cards in the graveyard. Doomsday resolves. I feel like in general, Doomsday has more difficulty with Chalice on 1. But Eddie the intern in the chat pointing out Jeremiah may have just wanted to be mana efficient. Petals and LED are the key cards that the Chalice on 0 could stop. Maybe the Chalice was bait, maybe. Alright, Twitch chat is skeptical.
Guess don't, maybe. All you.
Vial is on 1 at this point.
Hey.
Let's get.
Three.
Bonus pedal. Stack for whites. Iconic Mary.
You right? Come on.
From Mox.
Yep.
Source to Plowshares.
Yep.
All right, Hank assembles the pile and passes the turn. Vial activated on end step. Gale Rider Sliver, I believe it's called, the flying one. Vial up to 2 now. Mutavolt stuck in Glare.
Recommend. 9, right? We're at 18. Secluded courtyard on Slivers.
Secluded Courtyard on Slivers.
Activate Mutavox. Swing for 3.
Here you go.
Go ahead.
Swinging for 3, putting Hank down to 6 and passing the turn. So Street Wraith is tricky at this point. All right, cycling Street Wraith.
I default results.
Ooh, I have not watched this match, but I have a bit of a prediction in my head. What if this Vial's in a Hushbringer here? Force pitching Hibernation Sliver on the Thassa's Oracle. Hank passes the turn.
Down 2. Draw. Activate.
Oh, Sinew Sliver comes in, and there's game. Wow.
So you didn't force my force? I just drew that.
Swing 3.
Good games, nicely played. All right. So my prediction wasn't right. But yeah, Hank didn't have enough time to get the cavern lined up. Too much pressure from Slivers. That's exactly what happened. And I was talking to some players that were in the event, kind of between rounds, as people started to realize that there was a Slivers deck moving up the standings. And I was telling people, like, don't underestimate Slivers. Slivers can kill you in a hurry. I mean, this is not a slow deck that, you know, you can count on 10 turns before you get killed. I mean, the Slivers add up fast. Nicely done by Jeremiah there. That was fun to watch. All right, ready to go. Let's do it.
We'll see. I think I'm in danger.
All right, Eddie the intern on the left side of your screen. On the right, we have Bob Wong. I'm going to hide life totals for now. There is a link I'm sharing in the chat right now. MTG Melee has all the deck lists from this event and final standings posted on that link. Looks like players are ready to go.
Legacy 10K players, welcome to round 2.
Good luck. Thank you.
I have a planes and an ether vial.
All right, there's the Aether Vial. Both players kept 7. And we're ready to go.
I'm gonna start with the Once Upon a Time. Okay.
Once Upon a Time from Bob.
Alright. Do I shuffle or perhaps the white deck I was expecting?
Cavern of Souls was the card found.
Go to 19.
You got it?
Mox Diamond comes in, discarding the Cavern of Souls we knew about.
Hold on, so I'm gonna bubble myself.
Yep.
Lotus Petal, Ancient Tomb, Chalice on 1.
Sorry, I'm keeping it.
Oh, can I get let's get light titles on the screen. Smart. Okay, reset again.
Thank you, Eddie. Appreciate that.
Keep. Drop.
Vial goes up to 1. Urza's Saga comes in. Gets its first chapter. Ingenious Smith.
It impulses for an artifact.
No, I know what it does, but I'm just not quite the white deck I was.
Yeah.
Alright.
Top board.
All right, Bob seems surprised to see Ingenious Smith.
That happens sometimes with that card. Very rare.
And Eddie finds nothing with the ETB ability. Here's a Mox Opal.
Smith.
Smashing.
Genius Smith will get a pump. Looks like Eddie's hand is Crucible of Worlds, Retrofitter Foundry, and Oswald Fiddlebender. Retrofitter Foundry will be stuck there for now. Making 4 mana now is Bob, and here's Caves of Chaos Adventurer. Taking the initiative and searching for a basic.
This deck is much easier online.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Activate the interval.
All right, Bob has the right tokens. We're doing okay, everybody.
So I'm gonna put it on here, but I'm also gonna write it down.
Yep. Oh, and then I like that.
I will
I like that
target
more, yeah.
Evolutionist with nomad for his ability. Trigger, I'll mill 3.
Yep.
Good. I'm gonna repeat this process a few times. If you want me to stop,
All right, there's a basic planes, and it looks like it will be played for the turn.
Narcomoeba trigger.
Narcomoeba's fine.
You have 2 cards?
Sure.
I have 3 cards.
Narcomoeba trigger.
Narcomoeba's fine.
Your turn.
I'll keep this. We'll go to 2.
Vial ticks up to 2. That'll give Oswald Fiddlebender a chance for entry here. Here's Ancient Den. That'll trigger Ingenious Smith. Ingenious Smith can think about attacking here to take the initiative.
Target player, I'll name a card.
Can create a construct to play defense as well. Nope, Eddie passes the turn.
I will
Keep.
name
I'm going to.
Chalice.
Oh, that was bad.
Forge.
Do I show you my hand now?
All right, the second room of the Undercity is Forge for Bob, and it will put 2 +1/+1 counters on Caves of Chaos, making it a 7/5 trampler with a neat attack ability, which will trigger now.
Trigger happens. Okay.
Flashback.
Seasoned Dungeoneer revealed off the top. It can be played this turn. Eddie will make a construct.
Okay. The toss is normal. I get it.
Here's the construct, so that will trigger the Genius Smith.
Genius Smith gets a pump by that entering the battlefield.
Construct is also a 4/4. And that's a 7/5, so I'm going to double block.
Double block. The construct is a 4/4, and Genius Smith also a 4/4. Yeah, at this event there were 3 initiative decks in the top 16 and 0 in the top 8. What was it, 190 players? Is that number right?
I'll kill the construct.
Okay, construct is dead.
Okay, construct dies in combat. No trample damage gets through.
This is 3 damage.
Oh, 169 players. Okay, my bad. I didn't mean to boost the numbers or anything. I thought it was 190.
Play this.
Seasoned Dungeoneer gets cast from exile. Taking the initiative once again is Bob. Trap. You lose 5 life.
And
Looks like Bob's hand is double Chalice Ancient Tomb. That's not very good. Here's Oswald Fiddlebender. Getting vialed in. That needs a read. For anyone not familiar, it's like Birthing Pod, but for artifacts. Legendary creature from Forgotten Realms.
This will go to 3. I'm going to float the mana. Going to search my library.
Floating mana, searching library. There's Grindstone. These are Eddie's nasty tricks. Genius Smith gets a pump. Floating a mana. If Eddie has Painter, this game is over. Eddie can also search for Painter by sacrificing Vial, potentially. Let's see.
Gonna pay a white mana, sacrifice Ether Vial.
And here we go. We're going for it. Yeah, Eddie in the chat pointing out that the double block rather than attacking was a better line, because if there's no removal on the double block, it means there won't be removal on Painter Oswald, which is what Eddie wanted. And now activating Grindstone targeting Bob, and there is no removal spell. Eddie takes game 1. Nicely played. As most of you that watch this channel regularly are well aware, Eddie has been playing this mono white Painter deck. And not only is Eddie proficient with the deck, but much how we saw in the opening turns of this match, Bob was caught completely off guard by the plays. You know, after the Plains Vial, it seems like Bob was thinking, okay, this is death and taxes, but no, Eddie full of surprises. All right, players drawing up hands here for game 2. Both players have kept 7, it seems. Once upon a time to start for Bob, right into the glare. There's Ancient Tomb.
Yep.
Lotus Petal gets sacked. White Plume Adventurer hits the board. And Bob will take the initiative here on turn 1.
actually, I'm gonna get a mountain.
Searches up a mountain, says Bob. Passing the turn.
14, I'll create a treasure. You got your map? I will pass it. I've got a planes and I'm passing the turn.
Eddie just drops the planes and says, I'm passing. So I'm curious now if Bob goes to add counters to White Plume or Scry. Let's see.
Which room shall I go into?
That's what we're wondering, Bob. Let's see.
Cards there right now?
Yeah, how many cards?
5,
6.
I'm spotting an even mind sensor in Bob's hand. Could be good against Saga. Could be good against Fiddlebender. Thinking about the upkeep initiative trigger now.
Crash. 2, 4, 5, 6.
I'm still going to forge.
Create a treasure. I am going to respond to the trigger by plowing.
All right, opting to forge and a swords in response. So gaining 3 life here is Bob. White Plume Adventurer is eliminated. Looks like a Saga and an Oswald Fiddlebender and a Painter are cards I recognize in Eddie's hand. Here's a Mox Diamond for Bob, discarding the basic Mountain. And here's a Seasoned Dungeoneer, paying 2 life once again for Ancient Tomb. Yeah, basic Mountain right up here. Discarded. Alright, Urza's Saga is the land drop for Eddie. Looks like a Ganjo, either Vial. Yeah, either Vial enters in passing the turn. Drawing an extra card off the archives on upkeep. Attacking now, Seasoned Dungeoneer. Explorer trigger reveals a Chalice. Gets surveilled into the graveyard. And Eddie gets hit for 4.
Okay. Yep.
City of Traders comes in. Another White Plume gets cast. We're headed into the last room of the Undercity. Resolving the Reveal 10 trigger now is Bob. Let's see what we find. Can't quite see it myself. All right, Caves of Chaos Adventure will enter. Bob will take the initiative once again. And this one is an 8/6 with hexproof until Bob's next turn. Basic planes found in the first room.
Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
I am done after that.
Okay, upkeep.
This untaps.
Yep.
I'll pass turn and I'll move to discard.
Okay. Draw for
Discard
six.
toss.
Seasoned Engineer untaps with White Plume's ability on Eddie's upkeep. Vial ticks up to 1. Urza's Saga ticks up to 2. There's a Plains. Looks like this could be Eddie's last turn.
We can do. That's 8.
Yeah, this is 15 damage right now.
15 damage. Yep.
Looks like Eddie might have just drawn a Hushbringer. A little late.
I think you got it.
All right, we were going to game 3.
Yeah. I think I was one.
An aggressive start there from Bob was enough.
Yeah, it's true. It's more than 0, which is what it needs to be. I'll take the play this time. Yeah. Well, I might want to bend Mystic Sanctuary in for you. I don't know.
Yeah, that card is also a little bit silly.
I feel like it's what makes EI so egregious, you know? Because they would just play like Predict with.
Right. No, I think
Players preparing for game 3.
could do that.
Because here's what I think people talk about banning Murktide and banning EI and stuff. I think EI is like more egregious than Murktide in terms of what.
Ban Murktide, yeah.
The distance between Murktide
Yeah.
and Aerial Forager is so much greater than the distance between EI and Charnocourse or Predict. Yep, go to you.
I'm gonna cast 3 life.
Love Goat for you. Thanks for the follow. Welcome.
So with the floating mana and this. Sorry.
Eddie will be on the play, looks at the hand, and immediately says, I'll keep that. Looks like Mother Runes, Ingenious Smith. 4 lands, including a Saga and a Wasteland. And a Swords.
Yep.
Good. Very good. It's a very, very good hand.
Okay. Am I good to flip the first line?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. I'm going to copy in the stack. No, that's fine. Pass.
I see a Once Upon a Time.
Mox open. Storm 1. Low storm, storm 2.
Here we go.
Plateau pass. So Mother Runes will become live. Eddie just drew a Painter, which is pretty good. Wasteland use is Eddie.
You have not back.
Passing the turn.
Try for a Once Upon a Time.
Yep.
All right, here's Once Upon a Time.
Wasteland.
Wasteland. It's a little better than Soul Lands in this deck.
Where am I based out of? New York City.
Even my
Even Mind Sensor gets found. Is Bob unable to find a land? I think there was a City of Traders in hand, though.
Go ahead.
Gonna name Cleric. Go ahead.
Cavern on Cleric, passing the turn.
Yeah, I'll drop a turn.
Talisman.
Gonna play an Urza's Saga. Going to tap 2 for an Ingenious Smith. Top 1. Find
Brainstorm was on top.
All right, Ingenious Smith enters and finds a Grindstone off the top. So Eddie has the combo in hand. Grindstone and Painter are both in hand. Looks like Eddie also has a Hushbringer in hand, but I'm not 100% sure I see it. All right, here's White Plume Adventure, which we all knew was coming. Once Bob named Cleric, we all saw it coming, everybody.
Yeah, Readler is right now.
on your way.
Go ahead.
What's that about keep track? Go to 2.
Urza Saga ticks up to 2 after the draw step. Here's the Plains.
I am going to plow your thing.
Plow on White Plume. It's going to resolve.
I'm going to attack for 1.
Attack with Ingenious Smith. That'll give Eddie the initiative. Eddie will search up a Plains, of course. Roland MTG, thank you for the resub. 33 months for Roland MTG. What's up, Roland? Thanks, Roland. Without Roland, there's no 090s MTG, everybody. It's just true. Gift leader number 1, founder badge. The founder badge is fitting. All right, here's Hushbringer. I was right on that. Bob can't believe the text on that card.
And yeah,
I'm thinking for a second.
you got it. So this is on the stack.
Yeah.
Orcan Man, thanks for the resub. 16 months. Let's go mono white mirror. Yeah. Yeah, this is really the mirror, huh?
Which 2 draw 2?
Hushbringer looking mean right now.
Sorry, how many cards do you have?
Including a Grindstone.
You revealed Darcy.
Wow. Eddie, don't tell your opponents what's in your hand, even if you revealed the cards previously. They either write it down or that's their problem. Don't do that.
Go 17. Yep. Okay.
Never catching me telling my opponent what's in my hand.
Yep. Yes. Go ahead.
All right, Eddie's a good sport. Eddie's a good sport. I will do anything for a win.
Is this worded the exact same as Torpor Orb?
I think Torpor, does Torpor say permanent?
Okay.
This is ETB or
Yeah.
Solitude is free. You can get a 3/2.
Okay, alright. Yeah, I mean that's probably
Eddie helping out with rulings and everything. Look at that. Bob's lucky. Bob's lucky he's playing Eddie and not me. I'm like, I don't know. You got to call a judge. I don't know. You don't know what it does? That's your problem. What does Hushbringer do? I don't know. Read it.
Mox Diamond.
All right, here's Mox Diamond. Discarding planes.
Smashing on 1.
Does Solitude work? I don't know.
Combat.
I have no idea. Try it.
Can I get a trigger? You can discard different.
It might. Yeah, exactly. Can I cast Solitude? Yes. Evoke it.
Yeah, I know.
Eddie's too nice.
How many cards do you have?
All right, Plains comes in, City goes away, makes a mana. Here's Aven Mind Sensor. All right, so Urza's Saga trigger will be a bit different here. Only looking at the top 4 cards as of right now.
Combat. Yes. I will make a construct, I think.
All right, making your construct before Urza's Saga pops. That'll trigger Ingenious Smith. And Urza's Saga resolving, only able to look at the top 4 cards thanks to Aven Mind Sensor, and it looks like it's a whiff. Okay, a bit of confusion for a moment. How does this resolve? You do look at the top 4 cards, then shuffle your library. Why is SCG Con going on a Tuesday? Yeah, especially on a Wednesday. Great comeback for Phil.
No, it's okay. I'll play a Plains. Cast a Grindstone, which will trigger.
Okay, Grindstone gets cast here. Eddie will be going to attacks.
Oh wait, I missed my initiative.
Did Eddie miss an initiative trigger? I kind of lost track now. What's going on?
I missed the token counters.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah, let's ask it. Judge. So I missed my initiative trigger on upkeep because some of that, and so I don't know.
Okay, so you have the initiative, and we've moved past your upkeep.
Yes.
Okay, so
It just missed.
yes, your opponent has the option to put the trigger ability on the stack if they would like.
Okay.
I think
So if I let him go into Forge, let's say, he would get the counters. My other option is just to make him stay in the room.
I think this is a better
All
option
right,
than
I'll
to
just
stay
stay
in the room.
like this then, yeah.
You
Okay,
have
sounds
the option in case it's Dark Toughen on, he's at 1 life, and you want to have the trigger.
Right, makes sense. Okay.
Okay. So I'm at 20?
Yep.
All right, so it came up to a judge. I mean, they called a judge, and the judge said it would be Bob's decision whether or not Eddie moves into the next room. And Bob said, no. No, you're not going into the next room. Eddie would have said, yeah, go ahead, go into the next room. Eddie's too nice. Eddie would have said, "Yeah, you go to the next room. That's no problem."
Swing. Cover 6. Okay. Yep.
My opponent missed their initiative trigger. Can I let them go to the next room? I'm just messing with you, Eddie. I'm sorry.
I cry a little at my poor life choices, and
I'm not trying to drag Eddie, everybody. I'm just being silly.
and I pass the turn.
All right, here's Seasoned Engineer.
Trigger. Yep. So you take, wait, so are you going to give the protection? Yeah. Okay. So you take 2? I take 2. Then you get the 18. I gain the initiative.
All right, Bob takes the initiative after the attack with Mind Sensor.
You have 3 cards in hand?
3 cards.
Choking on water.
Okay.
Maybe that's what I get for being mean.
Round 2. You have 55 minutes. Please begin.
Even Mind Sensor will get 2 counters as Bob moves into the forge.
Yeah. I'm gonna bubble myself.
Caracas comes in for Eddie. Esper Sentinel.
Good ace.
Painter
Painter's Servant comes in.
is blue.
And blue has been selected. So the combo is on the table for Eddie. Attacking with a 4/4 construct and a 2/2 Ingenious Smith.
I'll block the Smith.
Okay, so Smith dies. You take 4, and I take the initiative.
Yeah.
Where does she go?
16.
All right, Eddie will take the initiative.
And put the counters on Hushbringer.
Putting the counters on Hushbringer.
And now I will pass the turn.
Play a nomadic one.
Which claw towers are one block floating?
Eddie has the initiative right now and has the Painter, Servant, and Grindstone combo on the table.
This will explore.
Create a copy of Trigger. Trigger. As a battlefield, I'll do 4.
Lotus Petal revealed off Explorer and dumped into the graveyard. Seasoned Engineer gets a counter.
My first mistake. So I guess Hushbringer is blocking
Make sure I have
even
my
Mind
spell
Sensor.
right. 1,
And
2,
you take 4?
I take 4.
4, 5, 6,
14.
Hushbringer blocks even Mind Sensor. They bounce off each other, right? Lifelink gains some life.
No, they're both 3/4. Or no, that's a 4/3. Or yeah, exile for red.
And then I enter the
One in the
trap.
Oh, I guess they traded. All right. Okay. Wait, how? No. Oh, Hushbringer had 3 power. Mind Sensor had 3 toughness. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Combat. There should be a button. Swing. Make 2 triggers. Wow, thank you. That was a tough, grindy match.
The question on everybody's mind right now, does Bob have a removal spell for this Painter Servant? Looks like Bob's on the verge of passing the turn. Would need 2 removal spells given that Mother of Runes is on the table.
And I'm like, I love it, but it's not
Leyline of the Void. Good.
Yeah.
Swing with Easter.
I feel like when I shoot.
Attacking with those 3 creatures. 4/4 Construct, Painter, and Esper Sentinel.
Definitely got there. Yeah.
What's the target?
I will target
We'll go Venom for 12.
Mother of Runes.
I'm going to activate Grindstone targeting you.
Doesn't look like Bob has it.
Phew!
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I guess.
I made 2 bad misplays that game.
Yeah. Yeah. I could have gotten a white card instead of this, but even the second Solitude wouldn't have done anything.
Yeah, because I have them on.
Yeah. Well.
All right, good games. Trying to keep things moving here. Well played by Eddie, well played by Bob. That was a fun one to watch. And Eddie gets there. Nicely done. All right, take 2.
Rarely for the next weekend. I know.
Are you gonna get that?
Maybe.
All right, shuffling up now are the players. This is round 3 of the SCG CON Legacy 10K. Where are the deck lists? They're posted in our Discord server. ! Discord if you don't know how to find it. It's also at this link on MTG Melee. Okay, I think we're basically ready to go. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's only like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, players shuffling up here. Both players are 2-0. 8 rounds of Swiss before cut to top 8. I was saying earlier, but I'll just repeat because I know a lot of you joined afterwards. I did enjoy meeting a lot of you at this event. This is one of just a few conventions I was able to make it out to since this channel has become a little bit more popular. And shaking hands with many of you and hearing your kind words really made it a special day. So thank you everybody that came by and said hello. I appreciate it. Devin, of course, top-8'd this event and then the Legacy 5K on Sunday as well. So a great weekend for Devin and a great weekend for breakfast. 0 initiative decks in the top 8 of this event is something a lot of people were talking about and thinking about. Looks like we're ready to go. Both players kept 7. Urza's Saga to start the game for Devin. We're going to have a little bit of glare, but we are going to be okay. This is, of course, at a convention center. I had no control over the lighting or the positioning of the players or any of it. We had no control. None. So we're going to make it work. Breakfast is a good start, yeah. Chromox.
Go find a Savannah, cast some
Opposition agent gets imprinted. Here's Thoughtseize. All right, so let's see what's in Devin's hand here. Thassa's Oracle, Ponder, Double Tundra, Baleful Strix. Two Ponders, and Baleful Strix. Wonder what gets taken here. Is it Thassa's Oracle? No. Maybe Strix? Okay, takes a Ponder. That seems fine.
And then you're going to release the trigger.
Yeah, I like taking Ponder there. That makes sense. All right, basic Swamp and then passing the turn as the Saga ticks up. opposition agent a little bit scary. All right, Tundra into Ponder. Second Ponder that we knew about.
Wasteland Volcanic Island. Off level. Precision combat. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Because you're talkative at the beginning, and like all those players are like friendly and talkative because like baby.
You can make a
Either Vile comes in for Devin. Does Michael have another opposition agent is what I'm wondering. Here's Wasteland. Could be good. Dark Ritual.
You can take this.
Shieldred. All right. Wasteland on Saga. Vile ticks up to 1.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I lose. Yeah, wrong one.
Cast Paradise Missile.
The land on Devin's side is a Tundra. Polluted Delta gets cracked here. Underground C is chosen.
You're going to go for all your C's white border and your Tundras black. Unfortunately. No, that's awesome because then you can find them so quickly. Look for the white borders and you need the C and the black and you need Tundra. I would do that on purpose.
Twice. Yes.
An interesting strategy. All right, Belful Strix.
Take 2.
Shieldred deals some damage there. All right, not attacking into Strix makes a lot of sense. Vile ticks up to 2.
I'm going to put this on Mystic Sanctuary to play. Trigger. I'm going to go You're good to go.
Brainstorm? Ouch. Yeah.
Yikes. Brainstorm with Shieldred on the table. That's not very good. All right, some missed triggers getting called out by Twitch chat. High Train Conductor at the end of your turn is loving it. Sees the power.
I'll take 5. Yeah, you're 7. Yep.
All right, so Devin's lands are Tundra, Tundra, Underground Sea. Here's the Illusionist. And passing the turn. All right, Shieldred gains some life. Dark Ritual. Oh! Leyline of the Void. That's pretty good.
Trigger. Drop. Land into play.
All right, that's in. Vile trigger on the stack, apparently.
Activate targeting itself. Trigger from the. Yeah. This is before your draw, right? Correct. Exile.
Okay, so Illusionist targets itself with its ability there to mill 3 into exile. Misty Rainforest comes in. Yeah, there is an Oracle in hand. So Dread Return is not necessary at the moment. But here's why it's scary. Thoughtseize. Okay, force pitching something. Okay. Maybe a brainstorm.
Trigger. That man was supposed to let me
Keep on 2. Yep.
That would have been.
Vial stays on 2. Last card in hand is Thassa's Oracle, which could, of course, be vialed in. Down to 2 life now is Devin. Needs a combo piece. Shuko or Nomads in core. Into Thassa's Oracle is the plan. Can't brainstorm or ponder or anything, yeah. It's the move here. Could also, I mean... Alright, passing the turn.
For a while, so, does he play his dagger?
Is Michael missing the draw trigger? I'm not sure.
I find it to be super boring. I think there's more interesting topics out there. This is a pretty cheap one. Yeah, so lots of
I'll name Wizard.
Alright, Illusionist is gone thanks to Plague Engineer. And that's a scoop. Game 1 goes to Mono Black Helm.
Is it Nomad Thassa? Oh god. I was gonna shoot myself.
Spooter, thanks for the follow. Welcome.
Using Illusionist to clear brainstorm is sick.
Mons, thanks for the follow.
Me and Phil have been playing every week that we're both there for a while, and I was beating him every time, and then he crushed me, and I was like, oh no, I chose a new deck, and you immediately beat me. Like, this is a bad sign. And then I went 1 for 8, and I was like, oh okay, not playing that. Cool. I have a pregame action.
All right, ley line to start the game from Michael. Pre-game. Devin on the play. Tundra into Ponder. Apologies for the glare.
I know people are on the psychedelic ponders now, but I think these ones are better. Shuffle.
Ponder shuffle. Usually like to see that. Yeah, Shieldred looked pretty good there in game 1.
Chalice X equals 1? Sure.
Chalice on 1 will resolve. Some disruption. Dark Ritual and Thoughtseize now shut off for Michael. Here's Urza's Saga for Devin. Tundra and Urza's Saga are the lands.
Well, you can't cast it with the LED. Like if you Shallow Grave, pull the priority crack LED, and you have 2 creatures, you get to choose or something. Yep.
And there's the Illusionist. Urza's Saga could potentially dig up Shuko. Torpor Orb. It's pretty good disruption right there. Wasteland on Urza's Saga. More disruption.
Waste your Volcanic Island.
This is looking pretty good for Michael at this point in the game. I would say the advantage bar is over to the right. There's a Saga. Trying to see what's in Devin's hand. It looks like just a Baleful Strix that I can recognize. Maybe a Teferi Time Raveler. Saga ticks up to 2. Looks like there's a backup Saga as well. Pluto Delta's in. Passing the turn. Opposition agent pretty good.
I can see your hand and I get first. Wow. Just 3 sagas. We're gonna write that down. And I will take.
Okay, so Devin's hand is double Teferi, Belfast and Urza Saga. And Michael will choose a land here that Polluted Delta will.
Triumphs. You're very unlucky because your top card was Triumph.
Oh, there's a Triumph of St. Catherine revealed.
Well, I'll take C.
Okay, Polluted Delta will give Michael an Underground Sea into exile. This Urza's Saga 3rd chapter trigger is going to work to Michael's favor as well. Yes, you do get to see your opponent's hand here, because you control them while they're searching.
Now it's your turn. That was my end step.
You make all decisions for your opponent in that time related to the search. All right, so Saga ticks up to 3. Can't make a construct. Not enough mana.
I still get the plus 10, is that correct? Yes, you still get the plus 10, plus 10. Yeah, so you can't move things around. Yes.
Scalding Tarn was the card drawn for turn. And now Michael will get to choose an artifact with mana cost 0 or 1.
Not my finest.
See you later at the end of your turn. Our high train conductor is stepping out, everybody. All right, so Ashuko has been taken and placed into exile. Skeletons, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Torpor Orb, plus Leyline, plus Opposition Agent, plus Chalice on 1. This is quite a bit of disruption that Devin has had to fight through in this game too, and it's not looking good for Devin right now. Paying 2 life, Helm. All right, so that's one half of the combo. Underground Sea could get played and activate, and there's a fist bump that's matched. Michael takes it. Nicely done. Good games. Good games. Okay. That was round 3 of 8. So we have plenty of Legacy left on today's stream. We're going to be voting once again. Twitch chat will decide which match for round 4. Let's see what our options are. Our options are Initiative, Brad Bonin versus Blue Red Delver, Dave Kaplan, or Initiative, Michael Hemmen versus Blue Red Delver. Let me just check my notes. Matthew Ivins. So both matches are Blue Red Delver versus Initiative. Twitch chat will vote now. 2 minutes to vote. Is it Delver versus Initiative? Spooter says, hey, Chris, I've been watching your YouTube videos for a while, and me and my friends at my LGS have started proxying legacy decks to play. Awesome to hear. Awesome to hear. Did I tell you about my product fatigue? My product fatigue and fire design. And I'm here to get everybody to play Legacy, everybody. And keep playing and enjoy it. No product fatigue here. How's everybody liking 1 so far? The previews look pretty sick, right? Previews look pretty sick. Jay Petty, thanks for the resub. 2 months for Jay Petty. Thank you, thank you. Robert's your mother's brother says, hello, Squire, with a sub. 7 months for Roberts. Thank you. High Star wondering, will Blue Decks be using 4 minor misstep? I don't think so, but I think we're going to see that card in Legacy. That's my prediction. That's my prediction. I could totally be wrong. I've never been wrong before, but this could be the one, everybody. This could be the one. All right, we have people joining the Discord. That's good news. We have people joining the Discord. Votes are coming in. Is it Delver versus Initiative? Do we want Brad Bonin versus Dave Kaplan or Michael Hemmen versus Matthew Ivins? Is the question that we are all wondering. How much time left to vote is unclear. A hype train is close. I've been alerted by Twitch. Sub, gift, or use bits now to start a hype train is the suggestion. If you're enjoying the stream, please consider becoming a coffee member, similar to Patreon. Big way to support 90s MTG is that link right there. And bookmark our TCG Player affiliate link in your browser. Or Canman, since Chris Benucci has never been wrong ever, have you seen the latest trend on comment? Exactly. It's all going as I have predicted. All right. The poll has been completed. Ninja God King contributed 4,500 channel points. And we are headed over to Brad Bonin versus Dave Kaplan. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting. We're going to do in-depth, mind-blowing analysis of every game action throughout this entire match. So prepare yourselves, everybody. This is exciting. It's like something you've never seen before. All right. Let me just finish with the overlays. Both players are 3-0. Squid, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Okay, ready to go. I have set up the overlays successfully. Let us prepare ourselves for all of it. Jumping in.
Actually, there's a bus Midtown Manhattan that takes 15 minutes.
All right, Brad Bonin making their 90s MTG debut. Dave Kaplan on the left, one of our regulars, one of our stars. And we're waiting for them to shuffle. We are on the edges of our seats already. 1 minute left on this hype train possibility. Eight rounds of Swiss at this event before cut to top 8. Kaplan setting up the live totals. Appreciate that, Dave. Thank you. Looks like Brad is on the play. Or maybe just drew up their hand first. Let's see. Both players kept 7 once upon a time to start us off. As that resolves, I just want to answer some frequently asked questions we get on this channel. Do I play Pauper? No. Am I going to stream pre-modern next week? No. Am I Italian? No. Should the MTG World Championship be Proxy Legacy? No. No to all of it, everybody. All right, so Lotus Petal Cavern, presumably on human. Here's Mishra's Bauble.
This on text.
Draw stuff. Tap main base. Make white for clerics.
Ah, it was for cleric. Okay. Anointed Peacekeeper comes in. That's a cleric. Can't be counted.
Is this a trigger?
No, it's as it enters like Cavern of Souls. So if you have a bolt in your hand, you don't get to bolt it before I resolve the ability. You can double check with the judge though.
My wife went there actually. Yeah, if you don't mind. Really big there. Did you want to spoil? I want to ask, as ability, is that a trigger? Can I respond to that once it enters the battlefield? So if it's added, it's not a trigger. It's a replacement. Side. After it resolves, not have a way to respond. Does that answer your question? It does. Thank you. Have the basic.
Okay, so the question here was on the wording of Anointed Peacekeeper. I'll share that in the chat. It's as it enters the battlefield, so it's not a trigger. It's a replacement effect, as the judge points out. So bolt in response is not an option. So here's Kaplan's hand, Brainstorm, Double Bolt, Expressive Iteration, Force, Murktide Regent, and an island.
Yes.
Murktide Regent, Expressive Iteration, of course. It's like Yawgmoth's Will and Survival of the Fittest, basically. Okay, so I'm assuming Bolt was named by Peacekeeper, right? Brainstorm hits the stack. Have I ever played CEDH? I have not.
Only when it's in play, right?
Only while it's in play. Yeah.
Yeah, so once a Peacekeeper is removed, its effect goes away, unlike Elite Spellbinder. Does not exile the card. You just name a card, and it doesn't have to be a card that's in their hand. You name a card that is not in their hand. Here's a Ponder for Kaplan. Ponder shuffle. So the Cavern is on Cleric. Anointed Peacekeeper is on Bolt. It seems. Will Brad follow up with a White Plume Adventurer, which is also a Cleric? We don't know. We don't know.
I think I may have given it the opposite way that you have. Once upon a time.
You have to untap my Archon. I'm going to cast a Solitude. Great.
Attacking with the Peacekeeper here. Has Vigilance. Expressive iteration, everybody. It's like dig through time. It's crazy what goes on. Reds, thanks for the follow. Welcome. All right, here's Volcanic Island. Delver's good. Mishra's bobble. Pass the turn. Encampment says this was quite a fun tournament. Yeah, it looked like people were having fun.
Float 2. Elemental.
All right, here's a Solitude. It is uncounterable. Cavern. Number 2 is on Elemental. The first one was on Clerics. Solitude in glare a bit at the moment. It's being hard cast. City of Traders sacrificed. Delver will be exiled.
Another copy of Goblin Shaman with haste.
I'm done after
I
that.
will go to combat for 8 and make 3 treasures.
I'll be on the
And I will...
No initiative creatures just yet for Brad, so no initiative has been taken. Brainstorm resolves for Kaplan. Close to enough cards in the oh, okay. So there's 6 cards in the graveyard now. So Murktide should be able to be cast here. Let's see if Dave pulls the trigger on that. All right, there it is. There's Murktide. I couldn't tell how many cards were in the graveyard for a moment there, but there were plenty. Looks like it will be a 7/7. Whoa! Anonymouth. Thank you for 10 gift subs. Thank you, Anonymouth. Wow. Wow. Anonymouth, number 5 on our all-time gifters leaderboard. If you received a gift sub, make sure you say thank you to Anonymouth. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so our Source of Plowshares was forced as we were accepting some gifts from Anonymouth. Force pitching Murktide.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's tough because, like you said, early game chicken thing about that first review.
Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning takes out the Peacekeeper. That unlocks Bolt. Pretty good. And there's the Bolt on Solitude. Solitude's gone. Brad says okay. So one Cavern is on Elemental, the other on Cleric. Just playing a plateau and passing is Brad. Murktide is a 7/7 attacking once again. Down to 6 is Brad. Urza's Food, thanks for the follow. Wasteland found off Expressive Iteration, gets played. Hits the plateau. Solitude pitching Solitude, trying to hit this Murktide. Force pitching Brazen Bower, and that's it. Dave Kaplan takes game 1. Very nice. Nicely played. That Wasteland was pretty good there. I was actually standing nearby spectating this match, and the 4th land drop of Plateau, Brad was hoping to play a 5th land that they had in hand, I think, to hard cast a Solitude. They had 3 Solitudes in hand, if I remember correctly. And needed, that Wasteland was huge. That Wasteland was huge.
Human. Really not pass.
Cavern on Human, passing the turn. Wasteland knocks out Cavern. Another one comes in to replace it. Also on Human.
On your end step, I'll pay 4 life.
Dismember on end step, paying 4 life.
Drop. Ability.
Anointed Peacekeeper comes back in. Hand is revealed. Double Polluted Delta. Double Dragon's Rage Channeler. Murktide. And Fury. Pointy Finger, thanks for the follow. Welcome.
Unnamed DRC.
Dragon's Rage Channeler is now taxed. Pretty good. Brad has not yet taken the initiative in this match.
Dover initiative. I don't remember. I don't play a lot of Lux. I remember the name. I think it's Infants. Oh, Child of Forms. Yeah. It's a good one. Yeah, it's the first initiative, I guess.
That is how you win.
The Death Shadow test.
Yeah, Fury is a response to the initiative being popular in the format right now. Fury pitching Dragon's Rage Channeler to remove Peacekeeper.
Yes, because it's good, even if
The backup Dragon's Rage Channeler getting cast.
And it's also like a feature, so I'm usually tapping out to attack you with my flyers if you have the initiative.
That was someone in the background calling a judge, not these players. Igonjo, and here's Seasoned Dungeoneer. Can't be countered.
So I played
Take the initiative. Better or worse than getting it off the table? Probably worse.
All right, Brad will search up a basic planes. Seasoned Dungeoneer is quite powerful.
Then I'll pass priority for all my phases.
Polluted Delta gets correct here. Yes, Fury and Subtlety both starting to see play in Is It Delver sideboards, or Canman is correct.
I trimmed on shallow, so I was like, I don't think those are
Steam Vents found, entering tapped.
Is this matchup rough for you? It is. Yeah. So what's
Brad does not appear to have an initiative indicator card token. We'll be keeping an eye out for that.
So it's explore, so I can either.
Not sure about that play. Here is Kaplan following up.
Yeah, it's
Another Dragon's Rage Channeler. No Delirium just yet. Land and creature are the only types. Surveil now twice off a Brainstorm.
It doesn't get bigger if I put it back.
But it also doesn't not get bigger.
Okay. No.
Bolt dumped into the graveyard. That's an instant. 3 types. Creature. Still 3 types. Brainstorm now resolving. So it doesn't look like Kaplan will take the take Delirium this turn. We know Kaplan's trying to fill the graveyard for a Murktide potentially.
And they've been good.
What's up?
I don't remember exactly. It felt like I just like yeah. They were good in general.
All right, dropping a polluted delta and fetching. Mechanic Island.
I'm trying to move back up to Connecticut hopefully sometime. I'd probably end up in like the West Haven area myself. Nice area. Yeah, it's very nice. It's definitely gotten a lot better over the last couple of years.
The triggers are good, and then I'm thinking after the triggers, I'm gonna think.
How many cards?
I have 4. Okay. Is that the second trigger or the ponder? This okay, yeah, sure. Okay. I'm still tanking on the ponder.
Okay, so Ponder is still in the stack. The 2 Surveil triggers have been resolved. The first one put a Wasteland into the graveyard. The second one held it on top. Can't see Brad's hand very well. Brad's tapped out. Could potentially have a Solitude here. Solitude pitching Seasoned Dungeoneer. Interesting. Trying to hit a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Dave does not have Delirium currently.
And then you can resolve your ponder.
But sorcery from Ponder will do it. Dragon's Rage Channeler's gone. Brad effectively protecting the trying to protect the initiative this turn. And for the turns afterwards.
I'll put 2 counters on it.
Oh, so maybe Dave did not take the Delirium this turn. Or maybe the Ponder was cast on the... I thought there were 3 types.
It'll get a counter. I'll leave this on top.
I don't know. All right. So White Plume Adventure will stay on top with the Explorer.
You're at 19, not 18, because you gain 1 from the Solitude killing your Darcy. So I have me 16.
Ah, that's the new DRC. You're so right. Yeah. See, yeah, I lost track of what was happening. Thanks, chat. That's why we have people watch, so that they can help figure out what the heck is going on this stream.
Good.
Yeah, so the not summoning sick Dragon's Rage channel was eliminated to protect the initiative. Right, now it all makes sense. Now I'm following. The other one was summoning sick, but it will have to attack this turn, and it does fly.
You're good. You can pick this one up if you need this one too.
Instant land. Creature, I have Delirium.
Yeah, you're forced to take it.
Brad currently has the initiative. And is in the second room, currently in the Forge. Added 2 counters to Seasoned Dungeoneer last turn. All right, attacking now is Dave.
I usually just do purple for one person and red for the other, but if you want to track it yourself, it's all the same to me. It's whatever you prefer.
Yeah. Okay. So you go to 13.
Yep, I have 13 all. Yep.
All right, Dave finds a basic island. Dave currently has the initiative. And here's Murktide.
Trigger. I'll actually go to the catacombs. This is the one that I don't have. I don't have the ones.
Whatever you prefer. As long as we know what it is.
Only because you guys are on camera.
Thank you so much. It's very embarrassing. Okay.
So 2 counters.
Then I will.
They were trying to figure out how to keep Delirium, it seems, but also cast this Murktide and make it as big as it needs to be.
Okay, yeah. Again, it's all the same, whatever you prefer. So that's the banished one, right?
Okay, so it looks like Dave does not currently have Delirium. Murktide is a 5/5.
For combat?
Let me just see exactly
Yeah, go ahead and
what
read
it
it.
is when you attack.
Works here. Trigger resolves. Oh man, I missed a land drop, I think, but I have lands again. I think he got it. Yeah.
Okay, resolve your trigger.
Flooded Strand gets revealed into the graveyard. There's a petty theft targeting Seasoned Engineer before combat, and it will resolve. Brazen Borrower will go on an adventure.
I'll play a White Plume Adventure.
White Plume Adventurer getting cast here.
I'll get back the initiative, I'll deal you 5.
I was
You
going
get
to
an
put it for throwing it at
Get back the initiative, deal you 5.
It's your turn.
Yeah, I was thinking about skeleton or not, and I just forgot to play the land. That's rough. I'll take the play for game 3.
Sure, the internet's making fun of us.
I don't know if you make this.
Okay, so Brainstorm was taxed. Maybe we're reaching the point where I need another glass of water. I don't remember Brainstorm getting taxed, but it is. It seems. Unchained Berserker was surveilled into the graveyard.
Oh, yeah, the red-green one's crazy.
Twitch chat impressed with Dave's tokenage. Yeah, Anointed Peacekeeper hit it, exactly. Going to combat. Looks like Dragon's Rage Channeler is coming in. Delirium is now back online.
What's the next options?
Draw a card. It's not an option. Once you choose the first path, there's not really options anymore. You're just gonna go down your lane.
I have to attack with this.
Yeah.
Dave is down to 8.
Okay. I go to 10. You get the initiative. You go to pick a lane.
Hit comes in. Dave gets the initiative. And Brad says you get to pick a lane, so we'll see if Dave puts counters or scribes here. Dragon's Rage Channeler will become a 5/5 and passing the turn.
Combat.
All right. Brad goes to combat, tackles with both. Lightning Bolt could be pretty good here. Hercules, thanks for the follow. Dave trying to think, how do I lose this game?
For both of those things.
Alright, I will block. It's all brainstorms this time.
Yes.
All block this time.
Okay, damage. Okay, I get the initiative. I draw a card. You take 3. The Peacekeeper dies. You're at 5. I'll draw from the initiative.
I think Brad is actually at 10. The phone on the table has not yet been updated.
I'll play an uncounterable human that takes the initiative. I'll ultimate the initiative. 3, 6, 8, 10. I'll find a Solitude. Solitude will enter with 3 counters and hexproof, and I will target this card. You gain 5 up to 10. I should be at 10 because you hit me.
All right, Solitude is a
Sure. And then I'm also going to force check.
is the hit on the ultimate. Here's another Solitude pitching. It looks like a White Plume Adventurer. It's getting dazed. Surveil trigger.
My guy untapps.
This is a 5/5.
Did you have Delirium?
Flying creatures. Instant, land, creature, sorcerer.
Then yeah, it's my 5.
Yeah, there was supposed to be a shuffle after the final room on the Undercity. I'm not sure if there was a shuffle or not.
Yeah, you had
YouTube
two
commenters
draws
will
in a row.
notice.
One out of Brazen Borrower into probably. Oh, okay. And then probably 2 days is in still on the draw.
3.
Okay. Yeah, I mean both of those were the only cards that saved you on either of those turns. Pretty sick.
Yeah, it felt really weird in this, but I didn't have the mana to cast.
I don't actually think that card's good, to be honest.
I was playing Sprite Dragon, which I liked.
I think that this deck has outmaneuvered that strategy of protection guys.
All right, that's match. Dave Kaplan took it. Well played. Next room for Kaplan was you lose 5 life. All right. On the left side of your screen is Christian Fuller with Is It Delver? And on the right side is Katie Rojas with Death Shadow. Both players at 3 and 1.
I used to work at a casino. Yeah. Cost fallacy, all of them.
The Gambler's Fallacy is my favorite. Just keep playing.
It is. It feels really bad, honestly. Like, where's my sleep?
All right, so Katie cycling a Street Wraith to start, paying 2 life for that, and playing an Underground Sea. Christian starting us off with a Ponder. Martel says, I kind of like Death Shadow. Is it currently playable? I say it's playable. Is it the top tier going to win the World Championship of Legacy kind of a deck? No. Maybe not. But fortunately for everyone, there is no Legacy World Championship. So we're good. We're good. Good to go. Here's Polluted Delta. Cycled another street right there, down to 16. Of course, the idea with a Death Shadow deck is to pay life in order to lower your life total and make your Death Shadows bigger. Brainstorm. Nice Warhammer Brainstorm for Katie. I dig it. That's the Warhammer one, right? That looks sick. All right, 2 back on top.
Oh, okay. I like that.
And cracking a polluted delta to shuffle them away. And Watery Grave comes in.
Pay 3. Wait, Livia?
Untap, paying 2 life.
Haste. Whenever it attacks, it goes up right to your library. You may play it this turn. You have a Livia.
I have a Livia.
Katie was also able to sort cards in hand. Sort out what cards will be kept in hand. All right, here's a Watery Grave into Hymn to Turtle.
I am going to then get wild.
I will attempt to force pitching force. Going to 9.
Force pitching force on Hymn to Turtle.
And I will
I'll
pass.
respond by casting force, pitching.
I'll take 2. Only legal.
Cards in it?
Oh.
Force pitching Strix on Christian's Force.
10.
I assume it's all resolving.
This is all resolving. This is not a deck I wanted to play against.
Discard this.
Do you mind rolling?
Rolling?
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
Pass turn back to you.
I didn't shuffle right.
Alright, so 1, 5. Well, this is a 4. I know.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at it. I know. These dice are stupid. I'm an 18. Reroll. Or
1, 2, 3, 4.
yeah, we could do it like that. I'll just reroll because
Sure.
I decided to.
True Name and Lightning Bolt are discarded. And here's Death Shadow. It looks like it's a 3/3.
Death Shadow good?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Am I upkeep?
Okay.
It's whatever you
Go to 18.
All right. Christian goes down to 18.
Shatter Skull smashing this guy for 4. Pass. Where are we going?
Upkeep all skies too.
Twitch chat, surprised to see a True Name in the main. Slick Judge says Katie's Sauron ring is sick. Yeah, you can't see it in our shot here, but Katie also had a really sick jacket as well. Looking stylish. Coat, jacket, I don't know. All right, here's Unholy Heat targeting Death Shadow. Let's see if Katie responds.
You're up.
Make a 4/1. Draw for turn.
Murktide, I'll go. 2, 3.
Trigger.
So it'll have
So
it resolves 3 counters.
target hardy creature gains protection from other creatures, and that creature explodes.
All right, looks like we have a 6/6 Murktide entering on Katie's side.
Draw the land. You take 3.
Christian gives it a thumbs up that it's fine. I guess that die has like blood on it or something. It's a bit hard to see what number it's showing. All right, here's Expressive Iteration.
You're back at 21, right? Chapter 2.
Flooded Strand goes into exile. That'll get played. Mystic Sanctuary an option now. Shadow decks do tend to play Wasteland. Doesn't have one currently, I think. Well, I know Katie doesn't have one currently on the board, but double watery grave in the underground sea are the lands. Here's a Baleful Strix, pretty good.
Go to combat?
Yeah.
Contact.
And it's
So you're going from
I'll pass.
21 down to 17 and me at 22. Twice I paid 2 life and gained 3 life.
They might upkeep.
Okay.
Thinking about Mystic Sanctuary, putting Expressive on top possibly here. Unholy Heat, another option. Does have Delirium, creature, instant sorcery, land.
So I'm actually I haven't used the 2 and the 13. This guy just came in off the dungeon pop. I don't have any other cards that cost ancient to min, so I'm
I'll draw.
I tapped it twice.
All right, the Unholy Heat was chosen.
22 and 17. Okay. These are untapped. I just thought I was showing you how I cast.
Stubborn Denial. Daze and Response will counter it though. Murktide's gone.
Land for turn. I'm going to target the Expressive Iteration.
All right, Mystic Sanctuary replayed again, putting Expressive on top. Pretty damn good. That's so powerful.
Offense.
Combat. 10 off.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I missed the fetch. Christian's at 10.
Iteration.
All right, a Brainstorm goes into exile for Christian. Getting cast immediately.
I don't think it's a good matchup for me.
I wonder if Katie has Mystic Sanctuaries. I mean, I could just go look at the list, but I'm liking the mystery.
I have something that I do, and I'm not 28 or 18. I put the picture mirror in the white picture beside her. It has question.
Here we go.
Combat.
I mean the feature mirror.
Yes.
Not the plumber feature.
Strix gets in there.
Whoever is better at the day.
Christian ticks down to 9.
I'm going to fetch my upkeep.
The corner mirror is whoever is better at the day.
Oh, no. Yep.
The white painter versus regular painter versus favorite painter is
If you're interested in deck lists from this event, they are posted in our Discord server.
so simple.
They're also up on all the big deck list sites.
It's like a Decklists white paper. No, paper.
Sure.
Which means I've got my paper.
All right, here's a Murktide for Christian. It's pretty good. I wonder if Katie has a way to remove this in hand.
Offense.
This is the best for that because it's a mega reading.
Cards in hand.
Baleful Strix can, of course, block.
It's the same game every time. You hammer the thing, you hit them with a creature.
You go to 16.
That being said, it is fun.
It's good.
It's like it really want to win. It is really fun.
I'll attempt to snuff out.
I think the only unfun thing.
So here's the snuff out. Murktide getting targeted. Looks like Christian has a force in hand. Yeah, snuff out is a staple in Legacy Shadow.
I'll force pitch Brainstorm.
Force pitching Brainstorm to protect. Katie's life total a bit low now. Would it have been better to hard cast Snuff Out?
Shadow's good. Yep.
Death Shadow comes in. It's pretty big now, 7/7. 7/7 Murktide. If this Baleful Strix gets removed, Christian could swing for lethal.
Oh, you told my token.
Okay, so this has to attack. Okay.
The goblinetic so I have me going to 24, so you still have your...
Looks like Katie has 2 cards in hand.
You are 6.
So you're in, these are in, you have not attacked. Because this happens at the beginning. So if this is gone, all of these have to.
Yikes. Second Murktide.
Cast Solitude, exile of your risk roll.
Can you witch out?
4 counters.
It
Four
costs
triggers
5.
there.
Same way this costs 2. We can call a judge to make sure, but it's a 5 season spell.
Let's just, so I know.
All right, so an 11/11 Murktide and a 7/7 Murktide. Here's Dragon's Rage Channeler. And then passing the turn. End step Fatal Push on the Dragon's Rage Channeler.
Super simple question. Hi.
Not another question.
Tell us on Zero, can he evoke this and still have it all?
All right, game 1 goes to Christian.
Sounds like plan.
Imagine it didn't get this.
It didn't work out. If I were a combo deck, it probably would have worked because he had like double force too.
Yeah. This hand's a little different. We'll keep this. Let's see.
Yeah, game 1 I was like, you playing Doomsday, you playing Shadow.
What's going on?
All right, 1 card goes on the bottom for Katie, who is on the play. Multi 6, Watery Grave into Thoughtseize. Looks like that's resolving. The Christian's hand is revealed. Maddening Hex in there. Bolt, Dragon's Rage Channeler, Force, Brainstorm, Scalding Tarn, and Steam Vents. I think you have to take the Maddening Hex here, right? That card is just ridiculous.
Crash, make a goblin.
Yeah, so it's 4, 5, 6 I take.
3, 4, 5, 6.
I got a 12, you get the initiative back.
Which triggers?
I'm expecting Maddening Hex to get chosen. Thank you, Crazy Man, for adding that to the chat.
Enter.
I'll take Brainstorm here.
Ooh, okay, so maybe a follow-up discard spell will be available. Brainstorm chosen.
Or Shock. I'll play Channeler.
Shock into Dragon's Rage Channeler. Maybe Katie has Hydroblasts. It's Wasteland.
I'll hit it. Cast Ponder.
All right, wasting the Steam Vents and casting Ponder.
Put these back.
That'll hold off Hex for a while. As of the last time we saw Christian's hand, there was a... right here, Snuff Out. There was just this fetch land remaining.
I'll pass.
All right, there's the Scalding Tarn and pass.
Good.
All right, Katie follows up with another Wasteland. Okay, so Maddening Hex may be on quite a delay here, unless Christian plays 3 fetch lands in a row. Wasteland on Watergrave.
Three.
3 cards in Katie's hand. Fetching Scalding Tarn, Delver.
And I will pass to you after that.
I'm just thinking on the
Yeah, you're good, you're good, you're good. No stress.
Knowing what I got here.
Turn off the solid guide. Is that color?
12.
I got you.
You'll beat.
Sure.
I'll buy it.
All right, Force pitching Force on a Delver.
Got you at 11.
Are we surprised, Twitch chat, YouTube commenters, to see Forces in after sideboarding? I'm curious what people think. I know the Delver players will be weighing in. Both players have forces after sideboarding.
It goes after you set.
Okay.
It goes to the graveyard after you set. So I'm just gonna make.
Looks like a force and a daze are still in Katie's hand.
They're whatever, the 4 drops.
Iteration.
I'll respond. I'm gonna waste.
Oh, okay. I thought you said +1, and then I was like, that's not the right number of counters.
Okay, so responding to expressive iteration by wasting the volcanic and fetching to get an underground sea.
Okay. Ready to go?
Float a blue. Cascades.
And you have one other card beside that?
Days plus. Well,
or land.
this card, yeah,
Land.
and the land. Yep.
I will force pitching days.
16.
Yep.
Cards in hand? 2. Okay. Resolves. You played a vault for turn, or fetch for turn.
I did not. I know for a fact I didn't.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, you fetched. I'm sorry.
You're good. Oh, you.
I know we were like holding over that. I couldn't remember. I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
you're good. Untap. Dangerous draw.
Your non-basics enter tap and
Okay. So expressive iteration resolved. Here's Murktide. Not much happened in between.
3 counters.
I will attempt to force, pitching this force.
Yep.
Force of negation also win. Force pitching, force of negation. Counters a Murktide.
Go ahead. Well, this is interesting.
Looks like Katie's hellbent and now hitting Maddening Hex. Not good. Shran.
I'm gonna read it again. Yeah, go for it. Non-creature spell, I'm gonna roll a d6.
Yeah.
It will deal damage equal to that result.
It's kind of like Eidolon, but but bigger and badder.
Harder to target.
I have to
Ponder.
Ponder
believe that is
resolves.
still non-basic.
Judge.
That's another table calling for Judge, not these players. Ponder, leave them on top and draw. Here's Dragon's Rage Channeler and pass. Katie hellbent fetching.
I'm pretty low on this card.
This is modern main event, correct?
Fine, no problem.
Legacy.
What does Katie need here? This is rough. A Murktide? Murktide could do it.
EA non-basic.
Good.
Fresh.
Another land drop.
When the thing first came out, I was like,
Surveil.
Bolt you, Surveil. Yeah, we knew about that bolt, didn't we? Although there were some cantrips in between. Fetching.
I think it's like draw another
All right, Katie's hoping for Baleful Strix.
I have to try.
I'm low on it.
Cast down, Maddening Hex trigger. 3 damage, and that's game. Dragon's Rage Channeler.
Yeah, there was like no creatures.
Wait a minute. 3. I guess that was game. Maybe I lost track of life total.
I didn't board him out. I figured I'd filter through it.
Your creatures are pretty good against me.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
All right, good games. Christian gets there. Take 2. All right, on the left side of your screen is Yasuhiro with breakfast. Four and one. And on the right side is Michael with. Ooh, we might need to make this much smaller. Is Michael with mono black helm. Setting up the overlays. Just about ready to get started here. Okay, turn one vial from Yasuhiro. Offers the Saga. Here's a swamp for Michael. Thoughtseize hitting the stack. Double Illusionist, Underground Sea, Island, and Scalding Tarn, and Illusionist will get taken. It's Chromox.
Plague Engineer.
Plague Engineer is imprinted. Dark Ritual.
I'm going to cast the Ornithopter. And then I'll pass the turn.
Dothy Voidwalker. Pretty good against the combo. Combo is Cephalid Illusionist plus Nomads in Core or Shuko to build the entire library. Then use Dread Return to sacrifice Narcomoebas that get milled to reanimate a Thassa's Oracle.
Cast a Gardener.
I'm going to force it.
You're 19.
Hibernation Seal.
Yep.
Thank you, Michael. Makes my life easier. Alright, so Viola's on 1, Saga on 2.
Yep.
Opposition Agent is a concern
Combat.
Yep. 4. Go to 14.
for this Urza Saga. Here's Basic Island.
Gardener. Go to combat. Attack for 1. 4 damage. Flash and a hammer. Yep. Target.
Sure.
Got you at 8. No problem. Yep.
Narcomoeba gets cast here.
Number 3.
Thank you.
Dark Ritual.
Yeah.
Helm of Obedience.
Helm of Obedience. Combos pretty well with Dothy Voidwalker. Yasuhiro is going to need to do something about it.
Draw. Yours is I'll go to stream this? Yeah, that's right.
X has to be 1 user data.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's why I haven't done it yet. Yeah.
That's fine. They all shroud?
They all shroud.
Okay. This goes to 3. I'm going to float mana.
Yep.
There's a Saga, so this is in exile.
Yep.
11, yeah. Yeah.
Alright, here's the Saga gets exiled with a void counter on it. Now Yasuhiro has to try to find something in the library. Is there a needle in there? I don't believe so.
Sure.
Decklists are posted in our Discord. Also, on all the Decklist sites. This is from SCG CON, after all. Legacy 10K.
Yeah, I'll take mine.
Alright, Shuko has been chosen. So Shuko in combination with the Illusionist could allow Yasuhiro to mill the entire library. With Voidwalker on the board, it would be into exile. If that does, we had this come up in a match previously on today's stream, but I'll repeat it. If there's a Thassa's Oracle in hand, then we don't need the Dread return. We can just cast Thassa's Oracle and win. Vial is on 2, so let's see what happens here.
Can't be.
The Helm is interesting. Okay, well, that was game. The Helm is interesting as well if Yasuhiro had a Thassa's Oracle in hand. Okay, Harry Houdini, thank you for the gift sub. That's 16 on the channel for Harry Houdini. Thank you. Appreciate that. Where are we on subs right now? 232 sub points. 270 would be breaking our all-time record, which is exciting. Michael up a game. Players prepping for game 2.
I'm going to keep this. No pre-games.
Go.
Basic Island pass. No pre-games after a mull to 6 from Michael.
Swamp. Promox. So, Aghanim Awakening.
Academ's Awakening imprinted on Chromox. There's Chalice X's1. Force of Will. Pitching Thassa's Oracle to counter the Chalice.
Pass the turn.
Alright, passing the turn.
Yeah, it was like that.
I'm drawing this.
Yeah, you are.
Sorry.
Planes. Go.
Alright, you're dropping on planes and passing the turn is Yasu. Another Chalice with X equaling 1 is on the stack.
I guess I'll both go to the dirt together.
Force pitching to Ferry.
I'm at 18, you're at 20.
Yep.
Go.
Ooh. Torpor Orb.
Pass the turn. One card.
Yeah, double him feels pretty bad here. Where is that planes from? I don't know.
Okay, draw. There's a summon trigger.
Alright, another Urza Saga comes in. The game plan of making a bunch of constructs and attacking isn't the worst. Yeah, Teferi would have been nice on the Torpor Orb. Oof, a second Torpor Orb followed up by City of Traders. Here's a construct though. Just a 1/1 for now.
This game too. I mean, I don't like it personally, but it's good for you.
Untap. Upkeep, draw step.
Go.
Zagos triggers. I'm going to activate this Saga.
Yep. I'm good. I like this strategy of just remove constructs from the go. I like the strategy of just removing the constructs.
From like a sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good strategy.
I'm gonna play the most fair Shuko ever.
Yes.
The most fair Shuko ever comes in.
Okay. Motion to equip to the one that can attack this time.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna go to combat.
For 3?
4. This is the most fair Shuko ever.
16.
All right, Shuko gets in another point of damage from this construct. An attack for 4.
Yeah, go.
Karn?
Yikes.
There's no chalice on the board, right?
There's not a chalice, no.
I'm gonna cast Brainstorm.
Sounds good.
All right, responding to Karn with a brainstorm. Karn, the great creator, everybody. Karn can potentially... What can Karn do here? Okay, it's minusing. We're going to find out what Michael finds shortly. Could be bridge. Could be something like ratchet bomb. Okay, it's just bridge. All right. 1 card in hand and playing the bridge.
I'm gonna fetch response.
Fetching in response to bridge. All right, here's a brainstorm for Yasu.
Oh, this is
All right, ensnaring bridge will resolve. Upkeep. All right, a wizard cycle would step through here. Could find the illusionist.
You're flying, guys.
I was so close to like leaving the open off the phonics. I had the ball, but it was like got the forceful, got the surgical. Like how likely is that to happen?
Alright, I'm at 17 and you're at 16.
Yep.
That's the thing with this deck. It's like second tag, you know. Like what if I do have?
And I'm gonna draw for the turn.
Yep.
And then there's a saga. I'm gonna hold priority.
I
I mean,
It's
that's
gonna
a
pop.
lot. Turn 2.
Boarditude, thanks for the follow. Welcome.
With the ritual too, it's like I'm not gonna like unmask this ritual, but I'm not risking for the biscuit always.
Karn, the great creator.
Amazing.
All right, there's Pithing Needle. It's naming Karn the Great Creator. So Karn is shut off.
My last breakfast opponent that they did not have.
One card in hand from Michael means these constructs can't attack, though. But no threat of a lattice next turn. Here's Vial.
And then it begins. A 1/1. Go.
And Nomads and Core.
Yeah, for 2 colors, play another City of Traders.
2 colorless floating, playing another City of Traders.
Pass the turn.
Okay. Just passing the turn.
And then I'm gonna draw.
Vial ticks up to 1, drawing for turn. 1 card in hand for Michael.
1 and 2.
15.
Pass the turn.
Board. Pass the turn.
All right, just making land drops is Michael. Keeping the hand as empty as possible. 1 card in hand for Michael. Yeah, Teferriar's Prismatic Ending would be really good for Yasu right now.
Land and cast Cephalogist. Go.
I'm gonna just respond. And I'm gonna Baleful Mastery the Nomad's Encore.
For hard cast?
Hard cast.
Baleful Mastery being cast on Nomads and Core in response to the Illusionist. And it is gone.
Alright. Untap. Draw. Play a swamp. Pass the turn.
Okay, so now
No cards in hand for Michael.
Just runner lands. Cannot be activated.
Oh, fine. Thank you. One tap.
Yeah, Vial is shut off.
I know I'm on 23 lands, but let's not get a 4th land in a row.
Cast a Nomads and Core.
Yep.
I'll pass.
All right, there's another Nomads and Core. Double Torpor Orb doing some damage here.
I'm gonna pass the turn.
Okay, on tap. I'll
Yep.
keep.
Shady Rat, thanks for the follow. Welcome.
I'm gonna go to combat.
Cast Dark Ritual.
Sure. I will pass the turn then.
Casting that Dark Ritual to keep the hand empty. Dothy Voidwalker. All right, so now even more disruption on the table. Swords to Plowshares on the Dothy, though.
On tap. Draw for the turn. I will play another flying man.
Yep.
Pass the turn. It's not even flying.
Not even flying,
Go.
yeah. Helm of Obedience. Pass the turn.
Helm of Obedience comes in for Michael, who needs a ley line to finish it.
I'll cast the Narcomoeba. Go.
Yes.
All right. Narcomoeba comes down. No, the swords would go into the graveyard.
Cast another Karn. Cast.
All right, casting another Karn. Karn is shut off by Needle. Michael keeping the hand empty.
Okay, land. I'll pass the turn.
Return. Play a swamp. Pass the turn.
I'll pass the turn.
Chrome Mox, no imprint.
Does it sacrifice itself or no?
No. Pass the turn.
This doesn't do anything.
No. Does nothing.
I'll pass the turn.
Yeah, I thought about I just
Torpor Orb.
Oh my goodness. All right. Third Torpor Orb.
I am then. Narc Amiibo.
Yep.
Go.
Rocky Voidwalker.
Uh-oh, Dothy Voidwalker's coming down. Can't quite see what's in Yasu's hand. Twitch chat hoping for echoing truth.
All three of these came in the mail on Thursday.
Okay.
Helm targeting you, X equals 1.
All right, X equals 1. That gets the handshake. Good games. Action-packed stuff. All right. Well done. Good games. All right, ready to go. Let's do it. Greg Barlinrut, who is a regular on 90s MTG with this Reanimator deck, also plays Pox, some Burn. And on the right side of your screen, 4-color control, Patrick C. This will be round 7 of the SCG CON Legacy 10K. Dream Troller hoping to see a turn 1 Gristlebrand and a record for shortest match on stream. We have had some really short matches on 90s MTG. It would be interesting if we broke that record.
On the play.
All right, sounds like Patrick's on the play.
Oh, it's room. Good luck.
Strand cracked. Down to 19 is Patrick. All right, here's a bad lands. For Greg after cracking a Marsh Flats.
Yep.
Faithless Looting.
Yeah, he was like, man, I'll lose all these.
Discarding Villas, Broker of Blood, and a Faithless Looting. Here's Lotus Petal. Unmask, Pitching in Tune.
We got
Prismatic Ending, Trop, Misty Rainforest, Caracas, Life from the Loam, and Uro. Prismatic Ending is taken. Pluvia, thanks for the follow. Welcome.
go to 11 trigger joy. Yeah.
Reanimate on Villas triggers its ability. Greg draws. Stack of cards. pedal. Discarding to hand size, Polluted Delta, and Gristlebrand discarded. There's Caracas for Patrick. Taking a look at Villas.
Go ahead. So it's trigger. Right, yeah. So we have 10, draw a card.
All right. Life totals appear to be correct now, my bad. Gothmog is here. What's up, Gothmog? We don't have to list every move they make. I'm not really sure what you're pointing out. Hardcore Freddy, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Unmask, pitching unmask, taking a look at the hand. Wasteland has been added. Uro gets taken. It's all lands. And loam. Shallow Grave now on Gristlebrand.
Response 37, draw 14. Yep.
Yikes. Caracas. I don't know when this was supposed to be activated, but draw 14 is pretty nuts.
Attacking for 7.
Oh, okay, it's haste push out.
Yeah. 12, I'll be at 10. I'll draw 7 or 3.
Greg draws another 7.
Believe it or not, that is somehow not enough. I played a land for 2. Yeah.
Gothmog, thank you for the resub with Prime. 17 months for Gothmog. Here's Dark Ritual.
Practice for white. I'll play a Children of Corliss. I'll sack Children of Corliss.
Children of Corliss.
7, yep. I think I fetched, so 15. So I'll be at 18. That's plus 15. I'll pay 7, go to 11. And I have, 3 mana for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think I got that.
I don't think Patrick's going to win this one.
Green. Base 7, go to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, guess not. In 2. So I have 1 green and 2 left.
Witherbloom Apprentice just dumped into the graveyard with Entomb from the library.
Target this, go to 2.
Reanimate, go to 2. And Chain of Smog to win the game. Okay.
Only 58 cards.
So Greg takes game 1. That was interesting. Yeah, second turn of the game, that was. Patrick will be on the play here for game 2.
Sure. I'll try.
Cracking Misty Rainforest. Tundra. All right, Patrick playing fair here. Here's a turn 1 Ponder.
Move to end step.
All right, going straight to the end step, discarding Villas to hand size.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so here's Unmasked pitching Witherbloom Apprentice. Witherbloom Apprentice, which has Magecraft in combination with Chain of Smog. You target yourself, you can just keep copying Chain of Smog and putting copies on the stack to trigger Magecraft, drain your opponent down to 0. All right, so the Unmask has revealed Dress Down, Terminus, Uro, Expressive Iteration, Force of Negation, and Life and Alone. And we're taking Force of Negation. Dress Down is in hand.
Yeah, I'll take that.
So Reanimate, Villas, draw a whole bunch of cards, not an option at the moment. Greg has not made a land drop. All right, still going to go for it. Reanimate, targeting Villas. Wow. Patrick letting it resolve. Letting Greg draw cards here. Not choosing to dress down. I didn't expect that. Here's Badlands. Lotus Petal. Dark Ritual.
Cabal Therapy for you.
Cabal Therapy on the stack. Take the dress down. All right, Faith is Looting. Greg just kind of going off for a bit here. Discarding Sedgemoor Witch, another Magecraft creature, and Witherbloom Apprentice. Reanimate targeting Sedgemoor Witch. Sorry, I'm not staying up on my totals. Break down to 9. Yeah, I'm not sure why you wait on the dress down here. That felt like a mandatory dress down in response to Reanimate. Unmasked takes Expressive Iteration. Greg using Villas's ability to activate and draw cards.
got that far. Okay. All right, good.
All right, Terminus was on top. So is that a reason to not dress down? Ugh. I don't know. That's iffy. I don't know what you do there. Here's With the Bloom Apprentice.
I'll loan back these two.
Loam to get back to Misty Rainforests. Chain of Smog with the Bloom Apprentice combo wins game 2 as well.
Why did you not cast Dress Down in response to the Reanimator?
Because I just had the Terminus in hand. I mean, the Terminus on top. So if I fetch it,
Oh, so you
I'm
knew
gonna
you
lose
had
it.
it.
I knew I had it.
I see. Because that drew me like a plus 0.
I know. I was like, I can't win with the 8-8. Like, I have to hit this Terminus, I think, or else I'm just going to die in 15 minutes.
All right. A little bit of an explanation there at the end. Yeah, that's tough. I don't know. Quintus in the chat says, I understand wanting to leave Terminus undisturbed, but letting Greg draw 8 cards is just too big of a price to pay. Yeah, but if Patrick didn't have a way to remove it, does it matter? I don't know. Yeah, there would not have been mana to cast Dress Down and Terminus anyway. Otherwise, that would have been an issue. All right. That was round 7 of 8 of the SCG CON Legacy 10K. Where are we on time? Okay. Let's see. Round 8, we only had 1 match recorded. Round 8 had, of the players playing for top 8, I think we had 4 draws into top 8. 4 matches decided to intentionally draw before the round began. I'm just trying to remember the details. And we had 2 matches playing it out. One had players that were 4-1-1, or no, they were X1-1, whatever, however much. X1-1. Those players did not want to play on camera. And then we had Greg, who we just saw, against Dave Kaplan, who did want to play on camera. So that will be our match for round 8. Okay. Let's set this up. This is round 8 of the SCG CON Legacy 10K. Reanimator versus Is It Delver? Just setting up the overlays. All right, diving in. Multi 6 for Greg. Waiting to see what happens with Kaplan's mulligan. To 5, it looks like. Nope. Okay, maybe maybe Kaplan down to 6. We'll see. All right. So both players have mulled to 6. Greg mulled a moment ago. Dave Kaplan mulled just now. Polluted Delta. Start the game for Greg. Pass the turn.
Like, have you heard any of his like talking to the press? Very little.
All right, turn 1 ponder for Dave.
Like, yo, somebody shut something on about him. He talks like the way Mr. Rabbit talks. I think that's the most likely.
Unmask you, pitching Gristlebrand.
Yeah, how many cards?
And if he tries to, they're gonna go, hey, give us a deal. We're gonna try and I think they're also gonna be like, look, don't try to back get rid of Roman, and then actually
3 cards in hand for Greg.
give us a year. We didn't have a fair year. Tired of us being recruited. And plus, they leave it open for negotiations for I think that would be smart.
Okay, revealed. Force of Will is already chosen. Scalding Tarn, Bolt, Brainstorm, Delver, Expressive Iteration. Here's Entomb. Gristlebrand into the yard and pass. Wow, Greg didn't even care what was in Kaplan's hand. Didn't even write it down. Just didn't even write it down.
Because any league and any player can point to that guy and be like, he's arguably what, a top 10 option with but he's not top 5. It's pretty with all the off-field stuff, because I'm just going to tell my class, if I'm really doing off-field stuff, I'm like talking about it with you guys, but you can't ignore it because of how heinous it is. So with the off-field stuff,
Retro Gamer, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Waiting to see what happens here with Dave Kaplan's turn.
Judge, I just have a rules question I can ask you.
Yeah, and you get hurt. Yeah.
All right, we have a judge call. Dave Kaplan going to go ask a rules question in private. Don't know what it would be.
So I'm actually going to do some research.
I think I see my boot there up in the top left. I think I'm standing there.
Additional spending relative to the capacity over time. So, because obviously quarterback percent down is going up, but what does that matter in performance? Because I think you're right that like when there's also less money to build around them as well. Because they have to be concessions. So then what happens to performance? Because the goal of the paper is there's 10 of ideals. What is the ideal mix of paper?
Did I participate in the tournament? No. I was just there to record. So all of you can watch it. Dave Kaplan in the chat, cluing us in here, asked about petty theft on Animate Dead. Good question. That's a good one.
So it starts becoming about which reward itself. And we've seen it over and over.
All right, here's a brainstorm for Kaplan. We saw an unmask hit Force of Will. Gristlebrand has been entombed into the graveyard. Greg has 2 cards left in hand. Here's a fetch by Kaplan.
Yes, they are very good at like the team, especially like Houston's been a hit or miss, but Campbell has been a hit. My dad wishes we could have had him.
Delver of Secrets comes in.
I think he wishes he could have been here since over. That's why I got super excited when they made that move. Roquan is like the perfect Ravens. We haven't had that middle linebacker since such.
Another Badlands for Greg.
Lewis Silk style presence in there. And he's made Oweh and Queen better, and I'm excited to see Ojabo because I got to see Ojabo in Michigan, and he was projected top 10 pick before the injury.
Shallow Grave for Gristlebrand. There it is.
And the other thing too, I got really excited when they picked up when they got Hamilton. I didn't know much about him. Kyle Hamilton did, but I went and looked at him after watching film about him. He's a center fielder, yes, but he also can tackle. Right. So when you take that, and then you have Logan Gaines, and then you have Smith there, it's kind of like when we used to have who used to play. It was another safety who had to play with Smith. Like Smith, the other safety, and Lewis, and it was just destruction. I'm like, you could probably do this if you have a Lewis and you have Hamilton, and then linebacker.
All right, going down to 3. This Gristlebrand will have haste, so with Kaplan tapped out, Bolt is not a concern at the moment.
27. But honestly, as good as Burrow played, and as much as the offense was on the field, that's football. And to be honest, that means I know it's going to be nothing but this.
Unmasked pitching Cabal Therapy targeting Kaplan. Brazen Borrower, Expressive Iteration, Murktide. Brazen Borrower was chosen. Double Dark Ritual. 5 black mana.
Ball therapy myself. I'll name Art on the Cruelty.
And it was like one school here, one time here.
I have a Shallow Grave. I will swing in for 19 total.
The Bengals, like outsiders, like Browns.
All right, Greg gets game 1, revealing a Shallow Grave to get the scoop. Reset life totals here. Player sideboarding. So, a question for Twitch chat and the YouTube commenters. Okay, just going to point out that Dave is mulliganing to 6 here to start game 2 on the play. A question for Twitch chat and YouTube commenters. This event had 169 players. I think we confirmed that earlier. 169 players, 8 rounds of Swiss before cut to top 8. Oh, all right, great. Greg's taking a mulligan. All right, I'll wait to ask the question so I don't have to edit this for YouTube. I thought we were ready to go. Come on, Greg. Do you have to? I'm trying to talk. Do you have to mulligan now? Jeez. Okay, it looks like Greg is mulliganing to 5. According to the dice that are on the table. Okay, a mulligan to 5 for Greg, a mulligan to 6 for Kaplan, and a turn 1 Dragon's Rage Channeler. A question for the YouTube commenters and the Twitch chatters. This event had 169 players, 8 rounds of Swiss before it cut to top 8. The top 8 had 0 initiative decks. 0. The top 16 had 3. What do you make of that? What do you think? Does that mean initiative is a problem? Does that mean initiative is not a problem? Does that mean nothing? Do we have data that is more important than that? What do you think about all of that? I'm curious what people think. Here's Faithless Looting on the stack for Greg.
Again, congrats. Copying it on 10K is sick.
That's a counterbalance, by the way, in the glare on Kaplan's side, and we just revealed a Delver to counter Faithless Looting. Pretty good. We were moving around the venue, a different table every round. We had no control over lighting. We did not have anything under control. So there's a little bit of glare. Here's Entomb. Let's see if Kaplan has a response. Counterbalance trigger on the stack. Bolt you surveil. Soul Guy Lantern revealed on top gets the scoop from Greg. We're going to game 3. Hito-san says data from one event is one of many pools. Depends totally on number of initiative decks in the whole event, but it should be, yeah. Yeah, that's reasonable. Because you can't check MTG Twitter, MTG Legacy Twitter these days without seeing somebody screaming that we need to ban something tomorrow. Is it urgent? If 0 of them made top 8, 3 in the top 16, is that an emergency? I don't know. I genuinely don't know the answer. So I'm asking what all of you think. Bolt revealed on top. Insectile Aberration coming in there. Greg did not make a land drop, just ritualed into the Sedgemoor Witch, and now there's a bolt to remove it. This is not looking good for Greg already. Oops, wrong side. I had the life totals backwards. Some people are thinking the cost of the deck and paper could be an issue for the deck's popularity. I'm telling you, for rounds 1 through 5 of this event, there was initiative everywhere. There was initiative everywhere. By round 8, most of it had sunk in the standings. Yeah, this is a weird keep for Greg. Let's see how this plays out. There's Dark Ritual. Cabal Therapy target you. Kaplan brainstorming here in response to Cabal Therapy. Naming Surgical Extraction and hitting one. Force Negation, Expressive Iteration revealed. Reanimate, targeting Sedgemoor Witch. 1 black floating. Expressive iteration happening here for Kaplan. Steam vents getting played.
I do get 2. 2, yeah. Oh, 11, sorry. Yeah, apologies. Trigger, go to 8.
All right, Chain Lightning targets the Witch. The Ward puts Kaplan down to 8. Here's Faithless Looting. Force of Negation, pitching Expressive Iteration. Badlands for Greg and passing the turn. Brazen Borrower flashed in on end step. Attacking for 6. All right. Kaplan on the verge of winning the match offers Greg the draw. Greg takes the draw, and both players made it into top 8. And of course, the rest is history. The rest is history. Poing, thanks for the resub. 22 months at tier 1 for Poing. Thank you, thank you. And Poing jamming bagel emotes, of course. We did manage to get round 1 of top 8 on camera on 90s MTG. The rest of the top 8, of course, is on Anurag's Twitch channel, Anzid MTG, ANZID MTG, if you want to watch top 8 matches that we did not record, like the finals and semifinals. But we have the quarterfinals match, Mono Black Helm versus Is It Delver, ready to go for your enjoyment, everybody. And that's what we will watch next. Let's set that up. Let's see. All right, let's dive in.
Like the sheep ones that we started. Begin play.
All right, here's Dave Kaplan on the left. On the right. On the left side of your screen is Mono Black Helm, Michael Levine. All right, let's prepare ourselves for the top 8 round. First round of top 8.
I'll mulligan.
Both players mulliganing to start.
I don't think I'm gonna keep a no lander top 8.
Can't keep a no lander in top 8. Seems like a good idea. Yes, that's right. We were chatting about who was favored in this matchup. So I'll just say what I thought. Main deck Leyline, main deck Chalice, main deck Voidwalker, main deck Shieldred. I feel that Mono Black is favored in this matchup. Let me know if you disagree.
Your companions, as well as paper pairings making their way up to meet red and gathering points. Please have your seats. In addition,
With that said, of course, Is It Delver? A deck that can adapt to just about any situation, and with a good pilot like Dave Kaplan, can win against just about any deck.
side events, this is 6 p.m. modern. 6 p.m. Classic Constructed. Your round 1 characters are now posted.
Good.
All right, so both players have mulligan to 6, Volcanic Island pass from Kaplan.
I mean, here's the thing. Whenever you do a combat damage to me, you make that many. Or no. Yeah, whichever one, wherever you sliver do combat damage to me, you make so you
Agadim entering untapped. Paying 3 life. Thoughtseize.
Yeah. Brainstorm. I like those brainstorms.
Alright, a brainstorm in response to Thoughtseize. Kaplan going to hide some goodies on top of the deck, possibly. And then we'll get to see what's in there, maybe. Unless Kaplan has a daze. Murktide, Delver, Scalding Tarn, Volcanic Island, and Lightning Bolt.
I will take Bolt.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Alright, takes Bolt.
You can choose to which would have both pieces.
Murktide and Delver. 2 cards left in hand. Non-land cards left in hand for Kaplan. Worth pointing out, Kaplan was on the play. Is it possible Kaplan had that Delver in the opener and chose to leave up mana for Brainstorm? Or was the Delver drawn off the Brainstorm? What do you think, chat? What do you think, YouTube commenters? All right, the Delver comes in now. That doesn't seem likely to me. I would guess that the Delver was drawn, but... All right, Chromox pitching Dark Ritual. 3 cards in Dave's hand. All right, here's Ancient Tomb, Shieldred. Force pitching Murktide. All right, Dave Kaplan is in the chat, says, I believe I would jam Delver there. Don't think I held Brainstorm back. That makes sense. That would be my guess. I don't think it would be quote unquote correct to hold up Brainstorm there. Attack with Insectile Aberration, especially knowing the matchup. And Expressive Iteration.
Please report your result. This is the final round of Swiss. Standings will be posted on your carries board after this round.
Scalding Tarn gets cracked. You see this Ponder get cast out of exile, most likely.
This doesn't have to be. Well, 1, 2, 3, okay.
It's kind of funny. We moved to another part of the convention center for top 8 of this event. And 4 of the top 8 matches moved to a feature match area for Onzid MTG. And 4 matches were just like seated next to like people playing casual Commander. So like right next to this, there's just like people playing casual Commander. I just thought that was weird. Is that weird?
Pass the turn.
Like I felt like we were just like also playing casual games. All right, here's Plague Engineer. Most likely on human. At least we weren't sitting next to Flesh and Blood, right, everybody? Oh boy.
Players may concede at this point if no game actions have been taken. That concession must be of their own decision. Please do not ask your opponent for a concession, offer, or accept anything for a match result.
Does everybody know what Flesh and Blood is? There's people who dedicate their time to Flesh and Blood instead of Magic, if you can believe it. I'm totally kidding, by the way. Flesh and Blood, if that's your thing, that's fine. Is this a restream or live? This is... We are Venom. Thanks for the follow. Welcome.
No, you're correct. Exactly.
All right, Bolt on Plague Engineer. Plague Engineer down. Attack with Insectile Aberration, which now has full power. Back. And Michael's down to 7. Commando, thanks for the follow. Kaplan thinking about this Wasteland. Yeah, I like hitting Abgadim here. Shut off double black. Pass the turn.
Zero cards. Last year.
Leyline of the Void was Michael's last card in hand. It resolves. Delver attacks, putting Michael down to 4. Yeah, so much for keeping Michael off double black, exactly. Michael not making many meaningful plays here. Flashing in Brazen Borrower on end step. Kaplan takes game 1, that gets a scoop. Leyline of the Void did not matter at that point. If you're mono black Helm in this matchup, are you going to mulligan until you definitely have something like turn 1 Chalice or turn 1 Leyline? Or are there other hands that are better or reasonable to keep against Delver? What do you think about that, everybody? How many memory cards, batteries do you carry? My backpack was extremely heavy and annoying me for the entire day. How many people played Legacy in the 10K? 169 players. 169 players. Looks like Kaplan is mulliganing here, but Michael has kept 7. All right, taking a look at another hand here is Kaplan. All right, 1 card going on the bottom for Kaplan and a Multi 6, and we are ready to go. Michael with no pregame effects. Swamp into Dark Ritual.
In fifth place, with 7
Plague
favorites.
Engineer. Naming human. Mechanic Island Pass from Kaplan. Attacking for 2 with Plague Engineer.
In 7th place, Connor Rooney. And for the battle-hardened New Jersey 2023 8th place, Jeffrey White.
Chalice on 1 is getting a brainstorm and response. All right, so turn 1 Plague Engineer, turn 2 Chalice is pretty good. Let's see if Kaplan has a Daze or a Force. Yeah, of course. Thanks for posting that. All right, Chalice on 1 resolves. So a good start to game 2 from Michael. So I think Kaplan's now down to 15. Michael keeping back the Wastelands. Didn't choose to hit this volcanic island. Here's Petty Theft on Chalice.
What's up?
Borrower on an adventure.
Once again, Flesh and Blood battle-hardened competitors, if you are in the top 8, please head to table 582 next to our round clock. And if you are in 9th through 24th, please come to the main stage for your additional prizes.
Chain Lightning took out the Plague Engineer. Leandro, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Here's a Delver for Kaplan. And a second Delver for Kaplan. So this game went from decent position for Michael to not that decent. In fact, bad. Here's double Delver triggers here. Brainstorm with that on the stack. So these Delvers are going to flip most likely here.
For those of you who have joined us in the command zone this weekend, coming up in about 10 minutes, we have a meet and greet with our special guest this weekend. That is Rebel, Sacramala, and Sheldon Menery. Again, there is a special meet and greet in the panel area in the command zone for those of you who have joined us there this weekend.
All right, 2 cards going back on top. We're going to see these Delver triggers resolve here, and we're going to reveal nothing. Okay, so Delvers are not flipping. Kaplan could not find a card that can flip them. Attacking for 2. That went Michael's way big time. Flooded Strand can now change the top of the library potentially. Response to cracking Flooded Strand is Opposition Agent.
You can see your hand as well.
Double Dragon's Rage Channeler or other cards in hand. Would it have been worth it to cast Opposition Agent and block? I don't know. Would you have done that, chat? Would you have done that, YouTube commenters? Michael picks out a volcanic island. Gavin says yes. All right, Double Dragons ready to Chandler get cast here. It's a lot of creatures. Chalice on 1, not very good at the moment.
Chalice on 1. Pass the turn. Cheers. Yep.
Delvers don't flip. I don't think Kaplan has Delirium, just land instant sorcery currently. Opposition agent is a blocker. Chalice on 1 is an option. Would it have been better? Would it have been better for Michael to take a Mystic Sanctuary with the opposition agent, just to shut that off? Blocking one of the Delvers, Kaplan giving Michael an opportunity to eat one of them, and taking 3 damage as Michael. There is a Brazen Borrower on an adventure all the way in the top center of your screen. Kaplan plays a Polluted Delta and passes the turn. Can't use the Polluted Delta currently.
Pass the turn.
All right, end step casting Brazen Borrower. So 4 creatures on the board now for Kaplan once again. Ponder flips into Insectile Aberration. All right, Kaplan choosing to fetch here. Let Michael look through the deck. Choose something that Michael likes. And Kaplan will get a chance to draw a card that is not called Ponder. Or Volcanic Island. Yeah, I think Michael should have thought about taking Mystic Sanctuary out of the deck. Not sure how much it matters at this point in the game, but and the double Wasteland on Michael's side, I mean, we don't know exactly what's in Michael's hand, but Kaplan having access to mana has been pretty good for Kaplan and bad for Michael. Expressive Iteration now getting fired off. Yeah, like if these double Wastelands had hit, again, we don't know what's in Michael's hand. Maybe a 4-mana spell in hand wins the game, right? But at a certain point, you do have to consider... I'm not questioning Michael's plays because we don't know the hand, but I'm at a certain point, you do have to consider, like, did I give up way too much by not Wastelanding here? And at this point in the game, it looks like that may be the case. But Michael's deck is pretty mana hungry. But as time goes on, Ancient Tomb is just getting worse. If it gets drawn. Ponder, ooh, the Ponder's resolving? Or okay, Cervella is resolving. We're not sure. Ponder is resolving. Ouch. Missing the Chalice trigger. All right. Swing with all 4 creatures here. Does Kaplan have Delirium?
Good game. Oh wait, no, I'm at 15, so I'm still alive technically.
Baleful Mastery on Insectile Aberration getting cast here.
Is that only if it resolves?
Only if it resolves.
I haven't seen this card before.
Okay, Judge taking a look at Baleful Mastery. They're wondering if the downside of casting it for less matters if it doesn't resolve.
You got at least 5 minutes.
So what was made of me? Right. Color of Reanimator. Let's say you did black, whatever 2 or 3 you can do.
Using a preference.
There, so you need to have just one of those two, right? Shoot black, and then
Daze, double Surveil. Puts a Wasteland in the yard. Puts a Dragon's Rage Challenger into the yard. Kaplan had a second Daze. Michael can't pay for that one.
Yep, we're at 3.
Attacking for 12, getting in for 12.
Yeah.
Is that the match?
Yes.
Kaplan takes it, moves on to the top 4. As those of you that are paying close attention to everything that's going on, of course, Kaplan takes it down, won the tournament. And we are all very proud. Let me see if I can find a picture of Kaplan with the trophy. There it is. With John Lee, Hank Zong, and Roland Chang hanging out with the trophy. So congrats to Kaplan. That was quite an accomplishment, I would say. Yeah, nice hoodie. Yeah, if you're interested in a 90s MTG hoodie or playmat, we have merch. If you're interested in becoming a member, supporting this channel, keeping us afloat, making sure we can make it out to events like SCG cons and Magic cons and all the cons, there's our coffee page, similar to Patreon. If you're not in our Discord and are interested in deck lists, mail day posts, ongoing announcements about whatever I'm up to with 90s MTG, join our Discord. And bookmark, please, our TCG Player affiliate link in your browser. I just shared that link in the chat. So those are all the important links, everybody. Hoodwinked with a question. So as a practical matter, did both you and Onzid film games at the 10K? Yes. If you want to watch the rest of the top 8, head over to Honorog's channel for that. That is where you should go to watch the top 4 and finals. Well, thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope everybody had fun. This was a great event to attend, and I had a lot of fun recording and streaming. I'll see everybody next week. Peace out.